This is Volusia Today, a public information radio program brought to you by the County of Volusia.
Good morning, Volusia County. My name is Michael Ryan, and you are listening to Volusia Today. Volusia Today, Clayton?
Yes, that is the name of our show.
You're listening to Volusia Today, and that is my co-host, Clayton. Clayton, good morning. How are you?
I could not be doing any better. How about you, Michael?
That's Clayton's radio voice, just in case you guys didn't recognize.
I know everybody's looking at me like, who's this guy over here? Where's this country bumpkin voice?
So, your big plans for the weekend?
I do not actually. Just going to watch some college football. It's back in town.
Yeah, you got to be so excited.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Go Vols. I know probably some people just turned the radio off after I said that, but I am a Tennessee fan.
You said Horns?
No, go Vols.
My bad. So, Clayton, let's just get right into the show today. We have a couple of special guests here. Normally, we do a little bit of news, a little bit of banter and stuff, but we have a very important topic we want to talk about today. Something that's coming up pretty quick for us. That's going to impact the better part of Volusia County.
Make our residents very happy.
Yeah. Well, tell me why.
Well, it's the new Park Volusia program that our county council actually approved of a couple months ago. We're going to be rolling this out into two phases. Actually, I don't want to get too much into it. I want to let the experts talk about it. But the big thing I just want to say is that if you are a Volusia County resident, you will no longer have to pay fees to drive on our beach. And when the new off-beach parking program goes into play on January 1st, you will not be subject to those fees either. So that's an overview of today's show.
Well,
so that's getting people excited right there.
I hope you have enjoyed your episode of Volusia County Today, because we're over now.
Oh, there's a lot more to it than that, but that's the gist of it.
Let's introduce our guest. So our first guest, well, actually, why don't you introduce the guest?
Well, it'd be my pleasure.
Thank you.
So with us, we have our Public Works Director, Ben Bartlett, and our Coastal Division Director, Jessica Fentress. Welcome to the show, guys.
Good morning. It's great to be here, as always.
Yes, we can tell. Look at the excitement on Ben's face.
They're engineers.
I love doing radio first thing Friday morning.
I was just thinking, did we wake you up, Ben? What time?
No. I think I beat you here, Mike.
That's not saying much.
Well, I was going to say everybody beats me everywhere. So yes. And Jessica, good morning.
Good morning.
You have big plans for the weekend.
I'm going to enjoy my mortgage.
Yeah. It's just, and the beach?
Yes.
In my mind, you go to the beach every weekend.
Surf is up.
Yeah.
Waves look good this morning. Had to figure out the daycare so that my husband can go get a few hours of sanity in.
Yeah.
So the jetty.
So surfing, fishing,
Yes.
Surfing. That'd be my guess. So listen, before we get into the whole parking thing, I know you know the secret best spots on the beach. Where are they?
Oh, north end of New Smyrna.
Really?
All
You're
day.
really going to I didn't think you would share, really.
It's where we go. It's where you got a great crowd, family oriented, a lot of really good people in the water, space to spread out.
Yeah, they let you sneak in your coolers of beer?
No.
Ben speaks up.
No.
He's like, no.
Alcohol is not allowed on the beach.
And there's our second guest, Ben.
And speaking of the beach, your all's team, y'all just reopened Ed Peck Park last week.
We are stoked about that. Edwin W. Peck Park was one of our flagship parks that we opened the summer before the 22 hurricanes, major catastrophic damage, and we opened it up this past week. It's got a playground. We are still working through some final, the restroom still has to be connected to FPL power, but we know the importance of public access. That's a major park in the shores, and we wanted to be able to open that up to our public. It is fully ADA compliant, so it's 100 parking spaces that I can tell you that is a new secret spot because it was pretty empty over Labor Day weekend.
Really? Because everybody thought it was closed?
Everyone thinks it's still closed, so it's a great spot to go to easily get on the beach.
Is there parking there?
Oh, yeah.
How many spots?
About 100.
Yeah.
It's a big lot. It's got a playground for the kids. It's got a little exercise station, an ADA walkover onto the beach. It's right there just north of Dunlot and across from the Red Lobster for people who, may not know exactly where it's located, but it's a great little park.
Clayton loves him some Red Lobster.
Yeah, they closed most of them down, though. I'm sad.
You're going to have to move back to Kentucky. So let's talk parking. What is Park Volusia? I tell you what, let's take a step back. What happened recently with the county council?
Sure. So our contract with the current vendor that does our beach tolls, collects the beach tolls, the folks that work in the toll booths on the beach ramps, that contract's up October 1st of this year. So we went to council, to see if council wanted to reevaluate how we go about providing access to the beach. And the council's direction was, multiple facet changes to our program. One of them was automation. Instead of having toll takers in all the booths, we're looking at automating a large portion of our lower volume ramps to allow those ramps to be open all the time instead of having to close them during the off season, because it's not fiscally responsible to have a person paying a toll booth taker for a ramp that only has 10 or 12 uses a year. The other thing council directed us to do was to do a off-beach paid parking program. Up until recently, all the parking along the off-beach parking along the beach, along A1A and county-owned lots, just over 2,000 parking spaces, has been free for everyone. And council directed us to institute a paid parking program where our Volusia County residents can park for free. However, visitors will have to pay a fee. And then finally, council directed us to change the fees for beach access for parking and driving on the beach. Increasing those fees, but also making it free for Volusia County residents as well. So that's where we're at. That's how we got here. We have a new vendor that's been selected by council to basically run this program, and we are working with them to roll it out here shortly.
Okay, and so that the first phase of that starts October 1.
Correct.
So when we talk about Park Volusia as a new program, we throw that term around a lot. We're talking about basically parking on the beach, driving on the beach driving, and parking on and off beach parking. It has two halves to it, right? And today, Jessica, if I'm a resident and I drive up to a ramp and I don't have a pass, how much do I pay to get on?
Your daily rate today is $20. If you like to purchase an annual resident pass, you're at $25.
The
for an
annual
entire year.
Well, okay, that's not bad. But starting October 1.
Complimentary, as long as you register.
Complimentary is the word we've been looking for like
nice
3. Where has that
Well, you
been?
can ask me.
I'm saying fee waivers, no charge.
Yeah.
And currently for non-residents, it is $100.
It's a $100 annual
on
pass.
a $100 annual pass. Come October 1, that annual pass for non-residents will increase to $150, and the daily pass for anyone who's not registered will be $30.
So help me understand the thinking behind, I guess, two things. One, today, why do non-residents pay more money to get on our beaches?
Well, the thinking has always been the beach, the cost of maintaining the beach, the lifeguards, all that goes into
It ain't cheap, right?
No, it's not. It's in the millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Everything from making sure the ramps are working, to the turtle folks that have to do their job to make sure we're in compliance with our habitat conservation plan for our permit. That costs money.
Right.
And the revenue we get from the beach tolls does not cover the entirety of that cost. So Volusia County residents who pay property taxes are paying for those maintenance items, those services, through their property taxes. So there was always a thought process that if the residents are paying through their property taxes, they should get they should pay less to access the beach. This council has directed us, based on that fact, not only should they pay less, they shouldn't pay any additional charge to access the beach based on the fact that their property taxes are covering those costs.
All right, that's beautiful. And then, but what about non-residents? Why do they pay more?
Well, non-residents pay more. That's basically the direction of council. We've already had that type of rate structure already. But those residents don't pay property taxes in Volusia County, and those folks aren't contributing to the maintenance and the cost of the beach, and therefore the council direction is to have those folks pay their share of essentially a user fee for using the beach, because they're visiting, they're using those amenities, and they're not paying for them in their property taxes.
All right, so you're so serious, but this is this is a good thing for residents,
yes,
right?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, Volusia County residents, the beach is our premier tourist kind of asset, and it's 40 miles of basically one of the best parks you could ever have. And so, giving our Volusia County residents access to that beach at no additional charge is a huge win for everybody.
So basically, bottom line is, for me as a resident on October 1, going to the beach just got easier and cheaper. And my county council in my county did that for me.
Absolutely,
That's
absolutely. And provided you register with us and register your vehicle and get verified, and that way you can access the beach either driving on or parking in our off-beach lots.
All right, man. I tell you what, let's take a real quick break and we'll dig into we'll break down the program into the two halves.
Subscribe to the Volusia County YouTube channel.
And hit the bell icon to know what's happening in your hometown.
There are so many great places to explore.
And things to learn.
With over 1,000 videos available right now, the channel offers something for everyone.
Let's go!
Did you know we have countless features showcasing history, nature, wildlife, and recreation? Subscribe and hit the bell icon.
Or that we live stream important county meetings and workshops where leaders make decisions that can impact our everyday lives. Did you subscribe yet?
Or that we record our weekly radio show, Volusia Today, where we interview staff from the different divisions and departments across our great county, and they discuss the nitty-gritty of their field and expertise.
Go ahead, subscribe.
But that's not it. There's more. Subscribe and hit the bell icon and fully explore.
Score!
Welcome back, everyone, to Volusia Today, your one and only trusted source for local Volusia County government information. You didn't say that in your intro this morning, Mike, so I had to take that in for you.
You guys probably don't know this, but we change that up every show, just under the philosophy that we're trying to get the right one eventually, but we change it every time.
I've heard you say it so many times I've got it down. I didn't have to read it anymore.
So now I got to flip it.
I've got it. All right, so again, we got our Public Works friends with us today. We have Jessica Fentress and Ben Bartlett. And our first segment today, we're talking about how residents are going to be able to drive and access our beach and park in our off-beach parking lots for free. So that is an amazing thing. But it's not just about a cost-saving measures for our Volusia County residents. There's also convenience factors. And Jessica, why don't you go into a little bit about that?
So one of the major changes you will notice on October 1st is that we will no longer be doing annual pass sales at the toll booths. That's completely going away. Any of you who go to the beach routinely and consistently, like my husband who's surfing today, the biggest holdup at the toll booth is the sale of an annual pass. With the annual passes going completely virtual, we're going to expedite that user experience at our toll booth. Starting October 1st, if you have a resident pass, you're good. We're just, instead of scanning the resident pass, we're going to scan your license plate and you'll be able to go on the beach.
And I think that's important to mention. You're talking about if you have an annual pass. So say a Volusia County resident, let's say July 1st of this year, they had some family in town. They said, hey, we want to enjoy the beach. So they went ahead and paid the $25 for an annual pass on July 1st. What happens to them on October 1st?
On October 1st, you're good to go on the beach. Instead of scanning your windshield like we usually do, we're probably going to walk around to the back of your car and scan your license plate. And then when your pass is set to expire normally, you just have to log on to parkvolusia.org, re-enter your license plate, and then at no additional charge, you'll be ready to go onto the beach again.
And that's good information for our residents. But again, we do have our non-residents. Hopefully, they are listening in, or they'll get the message out there that what if a St. Johns County resident, they purchase a pass on July 1st of this year? Will they again have to pay the new fee on October 1st?
No, if your pass is purchased prior to October 1st, your pass is still good at the rate that you paid until September 30th of the following year. If you are an out-of-county resident, you want an annual pass, I would encourage you to buy it before October 1st to take advantage of the reduced pricing.
So I want to be real clear. As a resident, when I roll up on October 1st, if I have an annual pass, but I've not registered yet, because you guys all know I'm late to everything, right? And so I've not registered yet and don't have my business together. I roll up and with my 3 kids and my cat and my cornhole boards. Like, how am I going to get in?
You're going to get in. As long as the toll booth is open to and allowing public go through, then the toll attendant is going to scan the back of your license plate. Your license plate number is connected to your pass, and that will give you the okay to get on the beach. If your pass is valid, you will be able to get on the beach on October 1st.
Okay, so...
But you will be encouraged to go on the Park Volusia website and register as a resident so you can get into the new program. So there will be an overlap between the old annual passes and
Sure,
the new.
sure.
But everybody who drives up that has an annual pass, whether resident or non-resident, will be encouraged to go onto the new Park Volusia website and register.
So the bottom line, I just want to make sure I get this right. The bottom line today is that if I roll up with an annual pass, it is good through the expiration date, whatever the date that is, right? In theory, it's within the next 12 months or so. It's good through that expiration date. That annual pass still gets me in without registering, but with the caveat of but there's a benefit to registering as soon as possible, even if you are a resident, right? Because that annual pass is not going to work on the off-beach parking come January 1. Is that correct?
That is 100% correct.
Okay. All right. So our annual passes are good. If a resident rolls up, nobody's going to give them any hassle. Your annual pass is good, but you should still register because, and we've not gotten into the second phase yet, because off-beach parking is coming, and you want to be able to park there for free too.
Correct. So January 1, the off-beach parking program goes into effect. This is for all the county lots along A1A. They will be signed so you know exactly that you're in a Volusia County lot. And so if you're not registered either as a resident or a non-resident with an annual pass, you will have to pay the daily fee, which is $20 to park in those lots.
Okay. Let's talk about, we keep getting a lot of questions about registration, right? What does that mean? How do I register? And what exactly am I registering?
Well, so, you know, we have to be able to tell who's a resident and who's not a resident. And I know a lot of folks I've seen, you know, question why. Well, my car is registered in Volusia County. I mean, don't you just know that? Well,
right.
Unfortunately, the bureaucracy of government and the different layers, we don't have ready access to that kind of information. So just like we do now with resident passes, there's a verification process. What we're doing is we're streamlining that verification process. So if you're a person who has your official residence on your driver's license is in Volusia County, and you have a vehicle registered in your name at that address, you will go on to the Park Volusia website, register your name, address, and license plate number, and for 80 to 90% of the people who are in that situation, you will get a verification probably within the hour or a couple hours, letting you know that you're registered and you're good to go as a resident in Volusia County to either park in the off-beach lots or access the beach. For folks who maybe meet a different requirement as far as getting that residency status, maybe they're a college student at one of the 3 universities, Emory-Riddle, Stetson, or Bethune-Cookman, or they own property in Volusia County. Maybe they're a snowbird and they own a house down here, but they're registered vehicles in some other state. Well, then we're going to have a process for those folks where they can provide some documentation, either uploading or in person at 2 brick and mortar locations where they can get help and get verified, which is essentially the process we have now for resident passes. So we're going to have multiple ways people can get verified as a resident. We encourage every Volusia County resident to register.
All right, man. So what if I roll up again with 10 kids in my car? Does that impact it?
No, it's based on the car.
Okay. And if I rent property here, but my car is registered here, then I qualify.
Right. So if you're a renter in an apartment or a house and your official residence, your official address is that residence, and your car again matches that, then you would be good. If there's a situation where you're a renter, but for whatever reason your car is registered or something different doesn't match, if you can provide us a copy of a lease that shows 6 months, minimum 6 months, then you would qualify as well. And so there's going to be a process for everybody to provide that documentation.
So the easiest way is going to be to go to parkvolusia.org.
You got it.
Parkvolusia.org, right? That's the easiest, fastest way. We can all do that on our phone, right? And then the next way you're going to have storefronts, right? One in New Smyrna, and the other one was in
Daytona Beach Shores.
Daytona and the Shores. Okay, so there'll be 2 storefronts open on October 1. Right. So we've got the website, we've got the 2 storefronts. It's going to be in the Beaches app.
And we have in-person events at every local library as well, scheduled in October. Go to volusia.org for exact dates and locations.
And there will be a 24-hour helpline where people can call if they have questions as well.
Wow. So it's hard to make it any more easy than that, right?
We're even making video tutorials on how to register that will be available as soon as they're completed. Yeah. We are still building the website today as we speak. When we get out of here, I'm doing a website meeting. Which is why we can't start accepting today. Once all that stuff is built out, the content is created, the tutorials are created, then it should be super easy. You can register for a beach pass at 2 a.m. from your couch.
Yeah, yeah. But there are going to be anomalies. There's going to be some weird situation, a bunch of them probably, right? So what's the best way for me to resolve that?
Well, we got the helpline where people can call.
Okay.
But I think the fallback for everything is there will be a physical location where someone can go in and get help. Okay. And a lot of people in this day and age are used to using technology and websites, and some people aren't, and that's fine. And that's why we're going to provide multiple options and multiple ways for people to get their residency status approved.
Let's kick over to off-beach parking real quick too, right? So what we've been talking about up to this point is, for the most part, has been beach driving, right? The ramps. Off-beach parking right now, there's no charge for anybody. What happens October 1, and what's it going to look like, and January 1, right?
Well, October 1, we're going to start putting signs out, just so people know that paid off-beach parking is coming to this lot effective January 1. Nothing is going to change the way that you use the lot other than the change of signs. Starting in December, we're going to have ambassadors at our major parking lots that are typically used by, our high volume visitors. And they're going to start education. We're going to have additional signs out there. We're going to make it as easy and as known as possible how to register and then how to pay. We're going to have pay by text. We're going to have pay by QR code. Register by QR code, that you can take a picture of the QR code on your phone, register while you're sitting on the beach.
Easy, yeah.
And you get a grace period for off-beach parking, where if you go to the beach on Saturday, you lug your kids' stuff down to the beach, they're sitting there playing in the sand, you're on your phone, go ahead and register while you're on your phone on the beach. Before any citations are sent out, we will confirm your registration. There will be a grace period for residents on off-beach parking. But it's super simple. And again, just like registering for beach driving, if you're a resident and your name and vehicle registration are all in Volusia County, it'll be almost instant.
I love this. It's like Volusia County taking care of our own first, right? Us first.
We're trying to provide a high customer service here, and that's why we're taking our time to create the content and roll this out effectively. If we don't roll this out well, then it's going to get insane criticism. So we're trying to do this as effective as possible.
Yeah. It's going to get insane criticism anyway. It's coming.
We're the government.
Well, so all this money you're going to make on these parking lots that you've not made to date, what are you going to do with it?
Well, like I said before, the cost of the beach, there's a deficit. And
right.
That's subsidized by the property taxes from our general fund. The additional revenue that we're estimating from the increase in fees as well as the off-beach parking will basically go to offset that subsidy. There will still be a subsidy. The beach will not completely pay for itself, but it will reduce the amount of money coming from property taxes that pay for the beach.
Yeah, there are a lot of people right now that enjoy our beach. And God knows we need the tourism, right? We appreciate that, and that certainly drives a large part of our economy. But there are a lot of people who enjoy our beach and just don't cover the cost. They don't pay for it. There's not a user fee. They're not paying for what they're enjoying. I am. Clayton is. The two of you are. Well, one of you are, and paying for that. No offense. One of you are paying for it and stuff. So it really makes a whole lot of sense to have everybody pay for the service they're using.
We have the world's most famous beach, but we have the world's most accessible beach. And that comes at a cost. And we're proud of that accessibility. We work hard to maintain it. There's not a place in the state of Florida where you can drive on the beach as much as you can here, or the amount of off-beach parking that we have. So, we're really proud of that, and that comes with a cost. And there's a lot of places around the state that charge for off-beach parking as well, and we're just kind of getting into that.
So the look of it, Ben or Jessica, when I roll up to an off-beach parking lot, it's just going to look like is there a gate? Is there a guard shack? Is there a person?
There's not going to be a person. There's not going to be a guard shack. There's not going to be a gate, with the exception of the two inlet parks. That is not going to change.
Okay.
Sunsplash Park, for example, or Edwin Peck that we just spoke about, you're going to come in, you're going to see signage as soon as you come in, letting you know this is a paid parking lot. There will be signage throughout the parking spaces. For those larger lots like Sunsplash and Edwin W. Peck Senior Park, there will be kiosks, because we understand a lot of people may not like to, pay by their phone. So if you want to take your credit card and go pay up at the kiosk, that's completely fine. This is going to model New Smyrna Beach's paid off beach parking. So if you're used to using the Flagler parking lot, the Sapphire parking lot, Marianne, Clancy, or any of those other parks, it's going to be very similar.
Okay. And then, so that's what the parking lots look like. The ramps, most of them will still have an attendant, the big ones, right? Some of them may be automated in the future. When will that automation kick in between now and January?
They have a full year to go to automation.
Okay.
We're probably going to time it so that our lesser used ramps like Seminole and River Beach and Zelda and Seaview, those ramps in Daytona that never really had a high volume usership, those will probably be automated first. Our goal is to get to a point where if the wind is blowing 20 out of the northeast on a Tuesday in February and it's just raining, we don't have to have a toll attendant sitting in the booth. Obviously, Saturday in July, you're going to have a toll attendant at our major booth parts. But what we're going to have on the back end for our residents is your little hidey hole ramp at River Beach. You can now hop on there if you've registered for your pass because a license plate reader will give you access. So we're going to get to a point where you have every ramp open every day, and residents are going to be free onto our beaches.
And you can log on to the Volusia Beaches app before you leave your house and see which ramps are open, which ramps are closed. You know, if the tide's affecting the ramp you want to go to, maybe you adjust course. So we're trying to catch people before they leave their house to let them know
where to go.
Hey, where to go, and before they get off the highway.
Well, and a new feature that we haven't done before is we're also going to give access to status on county parking lots. Let's say you didn't time it well and, oh crap, it's closed for high tide. I got a ton of kids in my car. What do I do? Pull up your app. You can find parking near me, and it will direct you to the closest county off-beach parking lot. It will give you a red, yellow, green status on those parking lots to let you know if it's full, if it's nearing full, or if it's wide open.
So bottom line, Jessica, in the last minute, what do we need to know? Park Volusia's coming. Off-beach parking starts October 1. January 1. On-beach driving starts for Park Volusia on October 1. You can register online. You can register through the app. There's some in-person events coming up. And if you're a resident with a pass, it's going to be good through the duration of the pass. Did I cover most of it?
Download the Beaches app. That will give you your real-time status on the ramps. We know there's a concern about accuracy. That's being addressed starting October 1st.
All right. Clayton, you get the last 10 seconds.
I just want to remind everybody to keep monitoring our social media accounts, our website, volusia.org, and the parkvolusia.org website, because in the next few weeks, we'll be having more information. Have a good weekend, Volusia County.